All right, this is Keys to My Mind, episode 11, and it's called Karma. I'm pretty sure that most of y'all know what karma is. You know, like when you do something good will come back to you. When you do something bad will come back to you. And I think I had mentioned it on a previous episode. High school and college was like night and day. High school, nerd, no girlfriend, no nothing. College, popular, girls, everybody like me, and whoop de whoop. I think that, once I got to college and, I started realizing that, hey, all this shit that they were saying about you in high school is just not what it is. You know what I'm saying? So for a minute there, I ain't gonna lie to y'all, it had got to my head. I had got a little cocky, a little bit overconfident. And when I was dealing with these different females or whatever, I didn't really give a fuck. Like, I did not care about them because, for one thing, most of the situations that I started dealing with these girls or girl, it was not a situation where we could be anything more than what the fuck we were. You know what I'm saying? If you start dealing with a person in a situation already, or that's already with somebody, then you know in your mind that you cannot be with this person. You know that it cannot be in a relationship. This can only be like what the fuck it is. They say it is what it is, and then it is what the fuck it is. So I got to college, and like I said, I like to say I went through my little stage, my little whole stage or whatever. But I realized this, when I ask God to give me things, he usually does it. Now, it doesn't be like, you can ask God for stuff, but the trick to that is that sometimes you ask God for something, you don't know what you're asking for. Like, you be like, okay, God, I want this. But you see the positive, you don't see the negative. Like they said, for every positive, it's always negative. So I got to college, and like I said, I went through my little stage, and I had asked God to like send me a girlfriend. Like, don't just send me, all of these whatever you want to call them. Send me somebody that I can be with, or at least I can try to be with. Send me, I hate to say this, I was like, God, send me a virgin. Send me a girl that's smart, intelligent, and looks good, that has goals and morals about herself, and also that ain't been around the block. I said, even if it ain't no virgin, send me somebody who ain't been with like a couple, less than 10 damn people. I ain't being realistic here. So I remember this shit, I was working in the paint center, I was supervisor, and it was Valentine's weekend or whatever. And it's funny to me, the girl that I was supposed to meet up with, she ended up whatever. So I'm at work, so I just took a shift. I was like, fuck it. They was like, anybody want to work on Valentine's Day? I'm like, yeah, I work. Like, ain't nothing going now or whatever. So I'm in there working. Like I say, I'm the supervisor, and one of the things that we were responsible for was giving people like towels, basketball, all the sport equipment. They would come to us to get this sporting equipment or whatever. So it just so happened that I had to work back there that day and do that. And cause other times I would just walk around or whatever, like, checking the floor, make sure nobody ain't fighting, checking the pool area, checking the workout zone. And that day, something had happened. I had to go back and give out the towels and basketballs and shit. And it was a girl, like I said, I had noticed the girl because I'm very observant or whatever. Her name was Keisha. And she would come in there and she would work out and she would run, and she was smart. I knew she was in a sorority. I knew she was very smart. I knew that she did not have a bad night. I had heard nothing about this girl, like, nothing bad or whatever. And that Valentine's Day, I seen this girl and I answered, I'm like, like, why are you here? What are you doing here on Valentine's Day? Like, I know it should be somebody. And she was like, well, and she from Jackson. She was like, well, the dude that was supposed to come meet me and taking me out, he stood me up. And I was like, damn, that's weird, because the person that I was supposed to go out with stood me up. So I've never been a type of dude to just go up on a woman. Like, most people I talk to is through situation. Like, either, we at a social gathering, or maybe my friend know you, or maybe I know one of your friends. Like, I ain't the type of person to just walk up to a woman and just like whoop de whoop de whoop. You know what I'm saying? I just don't do that. So this day, I was like, fuck it. Anybody here? It's Valentine's Day, so I'm gonna shoot my shot at this girl. And I did, and I guess she had heard about me, like my reputation. She was like, oh, I hear you talk to a lot of girls. Whoop, 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 whoop. And I'm like, well, I talked to them, I fuck with them. I said, but I don't go with none of these girls. Like, you know what I'm saying? So just because you heard this about me, it's not like I'm doing nothing wrong. I'm just whatever. Like, I don't go with these girls. It's nothing. So I explained this to her. So me and this girl, we went out that night. We had a good time. We talked, and long story short, she became my girlfriend. That was my first girlfriend in college. And she had told me that she was a virgin. So I'm thinking like, nah, bro. You know what I'm saying? The way you look, I already know. She was like, well, I am a virgin. The reason I am a virgin is because, I didn't want to get involved. I didn't want my feelings to get involved with a person knowing that it wasn't a chance for us to be together in the future or whatever. So that was the reason that she had never, had sex, because she knew that whoever she had sex when she was young, they probably weren't going to be nothing. She wanted to wait and at least try to be with a person that it was a chance that it could be something out of this shit. So I respected it. But see, the trick to it is, like I told y'all, like, you ask God for these and you look at this, but you don't look at that. The thing was this, and I like to keep it real up on here. This girl just wanted to have oral sex, okay? She did not want to have sex. She wanted, she wanted me to whatever. And, whoop de whoop. So I was thinking like, it's cool. Like, I can deal with this. Like, it ain't gonna be no problem. Like, whatever. Shit, but after about a month, and you keep, you oral sexing, I'm oral sexing you, and you just whatever. Like, like Bernie Mac, whatever. You just fucking around or whatever. You ain't doing like whatever. And I was like, well, there ain't no reason to break up with a person. Like, but I didn't realize that all it was doing was like teasing me. Like, we do this oral sex and I'm all hot and bothered and shit. And then next thing you know, you going about your motherfucking business. You done got what you need to get from me. But I hadn't got what the fuck I need to get from your ass. You know what I'm saying? So, like I said, I'm very whatever. I told the girl the shit. I'm like, bro, like, she was like, well, I'm sorry. I don't know how to do this way. I'm not used to this and I'm not used to that and all this shit. So we had decided to, whatever, just not even try to do this. She was like, it ain't fair to you. So me and this girl decided to take a break. Like, okay, we just gonna wait until we whatever. So the last week of school had came. And I remember this shit. Like, it was the last week of school. And everybody was talking about, like who they were gonna hook up with. Like, it's the last week of school, so we gonna hook up this person, I'm gonna hook up that person. And me, I was not whatever. I had just, like I said, I had a woman, but we had just split up maybe like a week before this. And I was like, I really don't want to whatever. But it was somebody who had, was liking me and shit. And at first I was not going to, but, I was like, fuck, I've been with this girl for these months and we ain't did nothing, this and that. So long story short, I hooked up with this person, okay? And me and this person had an agreement, like, this just led with school, so it's just a fuck off. Like, it ain't nothing in the relationship, ain't none of this shit. We just gonna have fun and led with school. So I always had like, how you hear like, you be like, man, they be like, you can have sex with a person one time and they can get pregnant. So, in your mind, I'm a nigga, you know what I'm saying? And I'm like, bro, I done whatever. And I ain't got no children. Like, they just be talking shit to me, bro. Me and this girl hooked up one time, bro. One fucking time. And the summer had came And I didn't think nothing else about the shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, I even told this girl that was my girlfriend. We had got back together. And I told her, I'm like, you know, I hooked up with somebody that led me to school. She's like, it's all good, baby. Like, I cannot blame you for that because I could not give you what you needed at this time because, you know, whatever. So we got back together, right? And we started going strong, like hard, like for real, bro. Like, this was serious shit. Everybody was like, you know, this is the couple of the campus. Like, Derek and Keisha. Like, everywhere we went, we were popular. Everybody knew us. And I ain't gonna lie to you, at this point, I was even thinking about marrying this girl. Like, you know, I'm like, bro, like, she fit our requirements. You know what I'm saying? Like, she got it going on. She's smart. She's funny. She ain't got no bodies on her. You know what I'm saying? And she goal driven. And she had like a 3.8 GPA. So I'm like, bro, you can't get no better than this. But the thing about her was she was very controlling. She tried to change me. You know, she wanted me to dress a certain way. She wanted me to act a certain way. I couldn't wear no jogging pants. I couldn't wear no shorts. It had to be suits and ties and gaiters and all of this shit, bro. Like, all of the thug parts of me, because I always like to wear jerseys and you know, jewelry and jerseys and Jordans and all this shit. She took that away. You know what I'm saying? And it made me feel some kind of way. Even though I understand where she coming from, it made me feel some kind of way. But long story short is, me and this girl really got serious, bro. We talking about getting married. I done told my parents and shit, like, you know, this is the one or whatever. So 2 months later, we go to summer school. And I get a letter in the mailbox, you know. See, I had a roommate, and my roommate at that time, you know, he was an internet person. So he on the internet, we don't get no motherfucking calls. Like, I was missing calls left and right because the internet was tying up the motherfucking phone or whatever. So I get a letter in the mail, and this girl's like, you know, whoop de whoop. I feel the worst may have happened. When she said I feel the worst may have happened, I already fucking knew. I was like, oh my God, I think this girl pregnant. So I had told like I said, I already had told, you know, Keisha, like, whoop de whoop, I had messed with this girl. So I told her, like, you know, this girl saying that she might be pregnant, that she pregnant and it might be mine and all this other shit. So, you know, at first she was cool with the shit. She was like, well, we wasn't together. That's what they say, you know. So later on, when she found out that the girl really was pregnant and it probably was mine, oh, she wigged the fuck out, bro. Like, she just wigged out. She was tripping. She didn't want me to go nowhere. She didn't want me to do nothing. She didn't want me to, none of this shit. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I tell people, like, one, I ain't gonna say a mistake. One decision in your life can change the whole trajectory of what is gonna happen for you in the future. You know what I'm saying? I'm honest with you. If this not happen with this, and I end up getting this girl pregnant, I found out 9 months later it was my kid. You know what I'm saying? My first son. I love him to death. If I would never have done that, you know what I'm saying? I'll be honest with you. I think that me and her probably would have got married because, like I said, we had got to this point. Like, our whole relationship was so serious. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, I think that we would have got married. So one decision in your life can change the whole outcome of what's going to happen.